Hello, everybody. This is special guest Carlos Matos for the Crypto 3 podcast. What's up? What's up?
Very nice. I like.
Hey, guys. This is Dale.
Hey,
I
Dale.
know you were confused. You thought it was Carlos Matos, but it's not. It's just Dale. How we doing? Thanks for tuning in. Like Carlos said, Crypto 3 podcast. Tuning in. The date, I don't know. It's almost end of October. We're hanging in there. We're doing things. Killer is doing things. What's up, buddy?
Doing big things. Big things popping. Little shit stopping. I don't know what that means, but
Big
I've
shit
heard it used in the rap music. So
In the rap music. That's awesome.
real quick, I have an update. So
Okay.
I bet like 99% of people are not going to remember this, but probably like 7 months ago, I mentioned on the podcast how I suspected that we had a squatter living in the laundry room of my apartment building.
Remember?
Confirmed.
I did. Confirmed squatter.
I'm leaving the building, going to work. I see this like elderly lady who lives in the building. She's motioning towards the laundry room. So I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
Did you
so-
kiss her?
No, that came after. But I go in the laundry room. There is a gentleman in there, and he is 95% naked.
Oh,
Good.
He seems to have set up like a little kind of nook or like
what
a
was he
corner.
wearing? Socks? Like, where's the 5%?
Underwear and socks. And I don't know if he was doing the rest in the laundry. I doubt it. But so I
It's
go in
hot
there.
out there.
I like just but like my first reaction is to be like audibly like what the fuck. And so I say that, and he's like, hey, you don't have to curse at me, man. And I'm like, bro, you're living in my laundry room. Like I do actually. If there's a time to curse, it's now. And kick him out of there. And I would just say the one thing I remember, like other than the lack of clothes, was he had tattoos instead of eyebrows.
Oh, God.
Like shaved eyebrows with tattoos.
Damn, that sounds like a guy you really want to run into.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do not go do laundry in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was a wonderful start to the morning.
It's a new in thing, and it's going to become more popular as the years go on. Tattooed eyebrows. If you wait, it'll catch on.
Hey, you want to know
I'm
what
gonna
else
do
is
it.
going to catch on, Prince?
What?
Hootskis.
Hootskis for the boys.
Just a little hootskis for the boys.
There you go.
So how we doing, Prince? Do you got squatters up in Canada?
Like, honest, like not. We do, but it's nothing like what you guys get down in the States. Like it's pretty tame out here. But it's out there. It's still here. It's present, but it's not.
All the squatters in Canada are just really nice.
It's like honestly, like when it comes to like homeless and all that, and the homeless population up here, it's not really bad. Say where I'm at in Calgary, but like you go out to like Vancouver or something, and it's an issue. But it just depends where you go. But it's pretty chillax out here for the most part.
Hey, you homeless over there, Sarah?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like being a homeless individual in Canada is tough because our climate is so bad.
Yeah.
How are you going to live outside 12 months of the year? And, we're getting snow for 8 months of that, right? It's like, so it's tough. That's why they go to Vancouver, nicer weather.
All
Yeah,
right.
well,
Well, on to what people are actually tuning in for, we think. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people just are like, okay, we got Prince's weather report. We got an update on on Killer Squatter. We're Audi 5000. So, anyways, tonight's guest, we're kind of taking a different approach, having one to recognize one of the most talented artists in the space. You probably more than likely have seen some of his work. He's really working hard on some things. So we want to get him on, talk some crypto, get his view on some of the art stuff. It's Krypticrooks, or his Twitter's at Krypticrooks. We're going to call him a bunch of different things. So if we don't say Killer or Prince, we're referring to Crooks. So welcome, man. Thanks for Crooks. That's your sign.
oh, sorry, dude. It just like
I cut out for a second.
cut out, like,
The hamster got off the wheel, man. Get him
Damn
no,
it.
but hey, no, I
Damn
heard
it.
everything before that, and I really liked it. So thank you so much, man. I I appreciate you guys, you know, giving me the time, and honored to be like in the ranks of some of the people that you've interviewed. So I think you guys are doing a great job, and you know,
Cool.
whatever, let's talk.
So how we start out every guest is just by them giving a little background on how they got into crypto, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's kind of a bitter one because I was around like before Mount Gox, and I bought quite a bit, and I was pretty impressionable, I guess. And, you know, it's taught me to kind of think individually because I had quite a bit, and it was around like $600, and this was right before Mount Gox. And my marketing manager was just like, I trusted him. You know, I spoke a lot of forward concepts to him, and he was just talking to me. He was like, yeah, no, dude, stay away from that. It's terrible, this, and that. And it was almost kind of like rubbing salt in the wound when Mount Gox happened, because, you know, I own a little bit of money and quite a bit of Bitcoin at a reasonable price. And then, you know, that whole thing happened, and he was just kind of like, one of the nicest guys I know, but he was, dude, get out.
Yeah.
And I lost faith in it. And I know I'm not the only one, because the market just died.
That was a hard, yeah, we've heard, like, I didn't, you know, none of us experienced that, but, you know, just talking with guys who have experienced that it was like, you know, I think the common thing is just like devastating. Like, it was just like, yeah.
You know, I mean, you didn't really know what to think, but the thing is like, it wasn't as heartbreaking as I'm sure it was for some other people, for me personally.
Yeah.
It's not like I had like a ton of money into it, but you know, I was well involved in the movement for a small amount of time. But you know, there's some guys that understood the movement better than I did, and they put way more into it. But you know, I came back around after I saw, you know, there was some more confidence in it. So I can't put myself in the place that some of those other people were. Like, dude, it was weird, you know, because we were around $600, you get it to $800, and then it's just like, boom, that happens. And
yeah,
all right, this is a joke, you know, it's out. Like, get me out. Let me get my money while I can. You know, that's the way it was. I just sold it. So, you know, I didn't really look back at it until a little bit longer. So, whatever.
How long did it take from the hacking for you to get back into crypto? Because the hacking happened in 2013, right?
I just kind of like washed my hands, you know. I didn't really, I think it was kind of more of like, oh, this is cool, this is interesting. I didn't really dive into it until like more interest came around. You know, we were probably around like, 2017 was ridiculous. Like that was a rival party, but it took, I got real serious into it around like, I don't know, mid 2017. Like, you know, I bought back into it, and I saw it go up, and it was like, oh wow. And then I really took my time to, you know, understand what's happening. And that's kind of when I tried to be strategic about it, I suppose. Like, and you know, that's why I'm spending my time where I am right now, because it's so important. This movement is so important, and we're probably speaking to the choir right now. Like, you guys get it. That's why, you know, we're talking, whatever. But most of your listeners probably get it. And my idea is like to understand the real value of money. Like, this is the way money was intended to be.
Yeah.
And I know you guys get it. Like, you understand blockchain, you understand how massive this movement is, and like how people are getting taken advantage of as a content creator. Like, it's bright as day. I mean, I've been thinking about YouTube all day pretty much, because I don't don't know. It's a prime example of centralization and how politics are already established. And you have like, okay, myself personally, like I'm trying to relate to the conversation. Like I love animation. Like it's a beautiful craft that is underappreciated, it's underpaid, and there's some people that are exponentially better than anything that I could ever do that are silenced because of the politics of the centralization of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not fair. And this is just one asset of decentralization that makes a big deal. Like, you know, I'm all over whoever's going to be the front runner in decentralization of like video content, because it's really not fair. I've been on the bad side of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I spent 3 weeks to put a video out, and I bust my ass trying to like get it in front of people, and it gets 100 views. And that's, you know, it's you see idiots like playing video games and like grabbing their friends' dicks that gets like 400,000 views.
Oh boy.
Give me a break. You know, it's like,
we're crossing into that territory.
I mean, I'm just, you know, it's like, it's because of the politics of like, you know, the beginning of the internet. YouTube was the first you know, organization to establish that opportunity in video, you know, in the video realm, and I love them for it. But now everybody's comfortable, and everybody's, you know, everything's established. Everybody's sitting on their throne or what have you. But you have all this creative opportunity that's getting silenced, and decentralization is the answer to putting it in the right people. Like, there is no medium. There's no medium area to be able to live comfortably as a content creator. It's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe I'm running on a tangent about that, but I think you guys get this whole movement, you know? It's like,
I've heard this, like, you know, and this is something, it's not a new, it's like, this is a topic I've had conversations about before, and it's just, you know, YouTube kind of being the power player when it comes to, you know, video platforms and all that stuff. And it is an issue. And I think it's the cool thing about crypto is there are becoming more options now, right? And the decentralized movement, like, I think, like, we got a few different platforms now that are kind of, you know, taking, you know, an example, a page out of YouTube's book, but, you know, it's kind of a hands-off, you know, let the people do what they want. And I think, that is the coolest thing about crypto right now too, is like, it's all this decentralized, you know, it's the ecosystem, a decentralized ecosystem. It's really fascinating just seeing this type of stuff that's coming into it.
It's going to unfold. Like, go ahead. I'll be interrupt.
I was just gonna say real quick that it's interesting because YouTube started as a platform where it's like, hey, come one, come all, make whatever you like and show the world. And it's not at all that anymore. And I think it's like a small case study in human nature and how, you know, if you aggregate all this power, it's gonna get abused at a certain point.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's a beautiful representation of how power is distributed improperly, like humanity. And that's why crypto and decentralization is so important. Like the stages that we're approaching, it needs to be an even playing ground. There doesn't need to be any sort of like centralized power that controls who sees what. And I mean, YouTube is almost a case study, just like you're saying. You know, like,
it is. It's a fascinating one. But it's such a tough topic too, right? Because, you know, with, you know, decentralization, it's a beautiful thought, right? It's a beautiful idea to me, and I love it in so many ways. But there's a lot of ways where I think human nature is naturally going to want to try and take and turn it into a centralized type of thing, because naturally, you know, we're animals, right? And those instincts, right? There's a lot of the instincts of, you know, you want to be on top, you want to be the alpha or some kind of thing, right? You want to be in control. And so that's, you know, and I think even we see it a lot, even we see it in crypto already, right? you get a lot of, it's like, okay, well, this is so decentralized, it's awesome, but yet then you look behind the scenes, it's like, well, but is it really decentralized? Like, we got a core group who's really running everything right now, and what they say goes, and if they were to go, then it would probably be pretty bad.
Yeah, and you know what? I tend to, like, I've thought about that stuff. I think everybody that's so deep in this rabbit hole, they think these things as well. But the beauty of how spread out the world is, like, I assume you're talking about Bitmain and Bitcoin, etc.
Yeah, it's every, like, there's just so many examples of it, right? Like,
there are so many. Yeah. But the thing is like, dude, you can't really centralize everything. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
You just can't. Like, there's going to be people that are going to be mining on the other side of the world, and they're going to have a boatload of money that's going to compete with the hash rate. And eventually, like, it will be an even playing ground. That's what's so beautiful about this movement. Like, it will become a reasonable playing ground to where everything is treated fairly. I believe that. I don't know. Maybe wrong. It's nobody knows what the hell is going on right now. But it's like, we playing ball right now. Like,
it's a really, it's an experiment, right? It's a fascinating experiment. And, like, history's never really seen anything like this. Decentralization of money and all that. But yeah, to me, it just comes down to it. It's a fascinating experiment, and to see, because human nature drives everything, and these markets are so much human nature, right? And the human psychology, and so it is really, it's seeing what kind of players emerge, seeing where everything takes shape. It's constantly evolving, and I just find it's so interesting, right? Keeping tabs on this market because it's growing so fast. Like,
this is a Hollywood story. Just
not
enough people know about it right now.
Oh, yeah. Like, I say, like, in a decade, there's going to be some pretty ridiculous, like, flicks out there, just kind of documented.
Yeah. Just look at crypto Twitter. You could write a whole movie just about the last year in crypto Twitter.
Oh, yeah. And dude, okay, so all right. Honestly, like, this is why I'm doing everything that I'm trying to do, and it gets to a point where I know you guys have these conversations with some people that don't, like, soak up what's happening, and it's awkward. But I know that there is genuine concern to give somebody that like a heads up. But then they kind of look at you. They're like, everybody has this conversation. Like, nobody really listens to what's happening with crypto. People that they're not involved in it, it's hard to get them to, listen to you. So I'm trying to make it like an elegant way to raise awareness. And, what I'm doing is, like, I'm spending so much time because I have to make sure that if I put this in front of anybody, they'll find it interesting. That's the bottom line.
Yeah,
so
let's go into what you're working on.
Let's elaborate on this, Merrill, that you're working on, Crooks. I know from me personally, you messaged me, I don't know, a while ago. I think I was character like 10 through 15 or something on there. And when we talked on the phone the other day, I said this to you that I was like, first saw it and I'm like, holy shit, he's got a lot of ground to make up. And now looking at it, it's just so surreal to me to see how crazy and awesome that this really is. So let's just kind of elaborate on, what your thoughts were, what your vision was for this, where you want to take it, and, how percentage wise, 1 through 100, where are you on completion? So just kind of talk about that.
Yeah, no, thanks, man. Honestly, like, I looked at this at the beginning of the year and I was like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to dive in. I mean, there's no question about it. I'm going all the way in, and it's going to be hard. Like, there's no doubt about it. But I started off with animation, and I was doing, take like 3 weeks to do a 3 to 4 minute animation, and it is what it is. I mean, what's happening at the moment. I was just trying to make fun of something, and I think they're funny, but the problem is I just had no audience. So, you know, I had to segue. It's a harsh pill to swallow. You're like, all right, you know, to back up behind this, the whole reason why I got into all that is because I was like, let me look at all of this. What's happening right now? Like, this is madness. Like, this is so important. This is so massive. And most of your listeners probably understand crypto and get it. But it's like, how am I going to be able to do something that's going to be interesting to people that don't give a shit about crypto? So I was like, all right, maybe I just make a bunch of animations. And I got like I got like 4 videos in, but and animations are no joke, dude. Like, that's a massive production. To put it into perspective, you probably have 7,000 pictures stacked on top of each other. And then it's a cycle. It's like a flip book. But to go even further into that, you know, your lines have to be like your stroke. Everything has to be. It has to look professional. I mean, if you want to be taken serious. So I got I got really deep into it. I was like, this is just not happening. It's not happening. And I had to pivot. So I just decided, you know, I go to Twitter and start reaching out to people, and it was the best thing I did. And I thought, like, content's king, so I just kept making these short little comics and kept putting them out there. And, you know, it's not my, like, ideal sort of message. If I could be myself, I would be kind of a dickhead and have fun with it, you know. Like, I would, you know, Twitter's difficult right now. You know, you can't really say what you want to say. But that's not my intention, you know. Like, I just pushed it out to kind of, you know, make friends and get my feet wet, and that was the right thing to do. It's all about networking. It's you know, it's important to do that. And I spent a lot of time to try to figure out, you know, these skills, I guess. And I always wanted to apply it to something. And, you know, crypto came along, and I was, you know, just, once you fall into the rabbit hole, there's no going back. You just get it.
That's the truth.
I mean, there's no question about it. You can do anything. There's a lot of things to do in it right now. Like, I would love to be a seasoned day trader. It might not be the right year to be doing that, but to understand how to read charts and just crush them, like, that's amazing. But I had a different intention, you know. This movement is so important. I think you guys understand what's happening with, like, multi-trillion-dollar debt. I mean, you guys get these things, like, you understand how fiat currency is flawed and how things are issues there. But my ultimate goal is to just, like, gracefully show people how important this, you know, how important crypto is. So with these comics, I would take a hard work out of every single one of them, which are basically the characters. And I've been putting them in this massive, massive mural. And I think, personally, it's like, I'm a little bit concerned about it not succeeding. So I've made it a testament to be so fucking crazy that, like, nobody can ignore it, I guess. You know, like, if I put it in front of any place on the internet, like, I hope people really respect it. And that's my ultimate goal. And I've been fortunate enough, like, when I started this whole thing, which gave me the idea, is I started posting a bunch of stuff on Reddit, like, with a few characters. I got onto, like, the front page, which was, like, very cool. I was like, wait a second, I need to explore this a little bit more. And I started doing all these cryptocurrency characters. I got in touch with Crypto Pander. She's actually a really good friend of mine now. She's in like, Connecticut. And I was probably my first, like, real crypto friend before I got into Twitter. And it was just pretty encouraging, you know. So, I mean, my ultimate goal is, like, it's so hard to get out of this little clique. Like, everybody talks. We're going to talk technology until the cows come home, but nobody gives a shit about that. Like, nobody outside, like, that's not going to bring anybody in. I mean, it's not. And that's the way I look at it. So I'm gonna, yeah, eventually it will. Like when businesses start taking on crypto and they start accepting cryptocurrency because they're saving whatever percentage on their bottom line, and it's a cash transaction, like that's, and then the customers start, being forced to pay with crypto. Like that stuff's gonna happen eventually, but it's like, if there's any way that I can speed it up and just raise awareness in an interesting way, like that's my goal. So I've been working like animal to make sure that like this mural is something that I hope people can respect, and that's all I ask. I'm not asking you to be a fan of mine because that's irrational. And if I just ask for respect. Like I just want to earn your respect. That's all I ask for eventually.
I think like you're doing the right thing during a bear market too, because I think I always see Birch say that you should be building during the bear because it's going to be the tough time. It's going to be hard to trade, but just actually build something substantial that will help you network, that will help you, create a service that's beneficial to people, whether it be information, an exchange, whatever, what have you. But I think, now's the right time to do that because the people you're talking with, and I'm sure you've talked with a lot of crypto Twitter in terms of making them an avatar or making them a part of the mural or what have you, has led to a lot of good connections, and these are the people who are in it for good, the people who are still around right now.
Yeah, it's true. And to be quite frank, like I have been blessed by kind of this concept, behind closed doors, I might not be like that social. I'm a very social person, but I took this year off. It's been hard or whatever, but this isn't a sympathy podcast. I don't care. Like, so, it's been amazing. Like the connections that I've made, like Birch hit me up and I'm doing an avatar for him right now. Like I'm talking to you guys and like, y'all have become friends of mine and, it just doesn't end. I mean, Joseph Young, I speak to him quite often. That guy's over in Asia and I love everything that guy says. Like he's very analytical and he brings up amazing points. And you make friends from all over the world, and it's weird, but the reality of the situation is people that are sticking around right now, they understand what's happening and they're still here. And the thing is if you can grasp what's happening right now and you're playing ball right now, your future is going to be bright, very bright. I genuinely believe that. There's no question about it.
What if we're all just wrong though? Like, what if we're all just saying this and like we're like, just wait till the next bull market, guys, and then it just crashes, it's just like flat forever. So fast forward like 5 years, we're like, any day now that bull market will come, we'll be rich as hell.
Oh shit! And you know what?
That doesn't happen.
Well, then I'll still be giving out like vegetables on Halloween tomorrow because I can't afford anything better.
That's awesome.
Well,
I think I think people, if they aren't going to respect Crooks, if they're not going to respect that what you've done, then shame on them, because it's truly, I am not by any stretch of the imagination an artist. Severely lack. I can hardly draw a stick person. I mean, it's just, I'm bad. And what I see when I look at this mural, it just blows me away. I think it's so cool. I know a couple different times you've had me in a jail cell on there, and I see now the latest one, I think I'm at a craps table. And it's so funny to us people that are on crypto Twitter and see the characters and try and guess who they are. Like I see on the bar. I can't read the name of it.
The right anus bar.
Yeah, there you go. I see like empty beer bottles sitting. He's a good friend of the show. See him sitting on the end of the bar, and just other things like that. So it's really cool, and I can't wait to buy one and hang it in my office at home, because I know the work that you've put into it, especially seeing as, not to toot my horn here, but one of the first ones that was on this and placement of it, and then now looking back at it. So it's really cool.
Thanks, man.
I hope people give it the respect that it deserves. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, we were talking about like pillow fights shirtless back then, so that was funny. joking, but whatever.
I think like a lot of people know you just for the comics too, but they don't realize that you make merchandise that is involved, like kind of ties in your artwork, which I think is really cool. And it's a good meeting of, you know, your talents and what you're good at.
Thanks, man. I mean, it's just all to try to bring it all together. I mean, I'm going to completely update that. All I'm trying to do is raise the awareness when the mural's done. And I've got like, marketing plan for all that or whatever, but I just got to work until I can get there and hopefully raise some eyebrows of people that don't know anything about crypto. And that's the ultimate goal. So that's that.
That's awesome. So if someone wants to check this out, aside from going on your Twitter, which again it's at Krypticrooks, which that's Krypti, it's Krypti, I guess. Jeez, Krypti, then Crooks. So where else? I know it's Krypticrooks.com also. So if someone wants to check it out, where would you send them?
Oh man, I'm just kind of staying quiet until I finish it. So it's probably just going to be my Twitter. I don't want to bombard people and annoy people like, hey, look at me. That's not what I want to do. So
sure.
I'm just going to finish it and then plan very hard about how I put it out there. So if there's anybody that's like a marketing gun, talk to me because I've got some serious things to unfold with this. So I don't know. In case if you want to talk, whatever, let's do it.
Yeah, hit them up. How long until you anticipate it being complete?
I'm thinking like December or so, and
nice.
I've been kind of working hard behind scenes on how to release it. So we're doing some weird things, but all I ask for is I don't want you to be my fan. I would just ask for a chance to earn that respect. So that's all.
Yeah, I respect that. I think I definitely think once they see your work, they should definitely respect you because, like I said earlier, one of the most talented artists in this space, in my opinion. Love seeing all your work. It's great. Hopefully, you had a shot low on that mini golf.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that was awesome. So, what amenities.
All right, everyone, check him out. Again, his Twitter's at Krypticrooks. Holy shit, that's a tongue twister. Krypticrooks.com. No, that's good. Thanks so much for being on, man. Keep up the great work. Everyone, we're all pretty impressed with everything you have. So remember, just another hoot ski for the boys, everybody. Take care. Peace out. We'll talk to you guys later.